Today we have info on a giant inflatable duck escaping the main harbor, a Florida missing child reunited, a body found in the First Baptist parking lot, and so much more.
We have today's weather forecast with Lily Fowler and a sports update with Sawyer Hughes.
Today is Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022.
We are live from Studio H12 in the Shroyer Broadcasting Center at Bradley Central High School, and you're watching Vox News Today.
Welcome back. I am Amber Filyaw.
And I'm Ian Reardon, and these are your top stories for today.
A hearse unlike any other. Isabelle Plumersel is a funeral home operator in Paris offering an alternative method of transport for funerals. The Core Bicyclette, otherwise known as a bicycle hearse, is a more energy efficient and sustainable means of transport. At the moment, the service is only available in Ile-de-France, according to the BFMTV. The vehicle can travel on both cycle paths and roads alongside cars.
Tensions on the Korean Peninsula are escalating as both North and South Korea trade a volley of missiles. South Korean officials say they fired 3 air-to-surface missiles in response to a series of North Korean missile launches just hours earlier. The military says it carried out precision strikes targeting the international waters near the area where one of the North Korean missiles struck. Pyongyang launched 23 missiles of various types, including one that landed close to South Korean territorial waters for the first time since the 1945 division. The launches follow warnings from Pyongyang on Monday for the U.S. and South Korea to stop their large-scale joint military operations, which began this week.
A giant inflatable duck that made its return to a Maine harbor this week broke free from its moorings and is now on the move. The inflatable object, in the shape of a giant rubber duck, appeared in Belfast Harbor last year with the word "Joy" written across its front. The apparent art project returned this week, this time with "Greater Joy" emblazoned on its chest. An official with the Belfast Harbor office confirmed the inflatable duck broke free of its moorings amid high winds around noon Thursday and started floating out of the harbor. The origins of the duck, as well as last year's duck, remain a mystery.
Heidi Klum just unveiled her highly anticipated Halloween costume as a giant realistic worm. Klum, 49, hosted her 21st annual Halloween party on Monday in New York City's Saginaw at Moxie, Lower East Side. Klum's return as the undisputed queen of Halloween comes after her party was canceled for 2 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Photos showed Klum dressed head to toe in rigid prosthetics that covered every inch of her body except her mouth, eyes, and a small opening for her shoes. Her husband, Tom Collitz, accompanied the former supermodel dressed as a fisherman with a bloody eye. The couple posed on the blue carpet together ahead of the event, with Collitz pretending to use Klum as fishing bait.
A 6-year-old boy is back with his mother in South Florida after being kidnapped by his father and grandmother. George Jojo Morales was flown into Miami International Airport Tuesday night. He was reported missing in late August, but on Sunday, Jorge was spotted in a Canadian Walmart. His mother, Janet Neal Concepcion, spent the last 2 months helping the FBI and local authorities with the search. The father and grandmother have been taken into police custody.
18 train cars derailed off the tracks in Ravenna, Ohio, Tuesday night. Portage County authorities say contractors spent much of the evening cleaning up the wreckage. The train had more than 200 cars. Officials say there were no related injuries from the accident. No word on a possible cause of the crash.
And now let's check on our weather. Lily, what can you tell us?
It's cloudy out today, so stay tuned for the forecast right after this break. Welcome back. I'm Lily Fowler with your weather. And here's your weather at a glance for today. It is currently 54 degrees out with a high of 71 and a low of 51 with precipitation of 2%. The wind will be at 3 miles per hour with humidity at 100%, a dew point of 54 degrees, and a pressure at 30 inches. Visibility will be at 10 miles with a UV index of 0. The drought impacting much of the nation has brought the Mississippi River down to its lowest level in years. If there isn't any relief soon, we're all going to feel it has its cost on the shipping spikes. From Missouri down to New Orleans, accidental archaeologists are finding steamboat graveyards and human remains, Civil War ammo, and forgotten shipwrecks. And now let's take a look at our national radar. There will be rain in the Tennessee area and some in the west. And here is your local radar. There will be rain scattered all throughout and in the Murphy area. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. On Tuesday, it'll be cloudy with a high of 71 and a low of 51. On Wednesday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 73 and a low of 46. On Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 75 and a low of 45. On Friday, it'll be sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 57. On Saturday, it'll be cloudy with a high of 76 and a low of 61. And on Sunday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 55. And on Monday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 78 and a low of 55. That is all I have for your weather. Here's Sawyer with your sports report.
Today we have Bryce Harper's insane 2-run home run, a recap of the Battle of the Paul Bunyan Trophy, and more right at this break.
To God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name.
I am Cleveland Ford. I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Doug Beerthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford, and together,
We are Cleveland Ford.
Welcome back. I'm Sorry Hughes with your sports. The Philadelphia Phillies took a 2-1 over the Houston Astros in the World Series on Tuesday night, winning a 7-0 blowout in Game 3. The Phillies jumped ahead in the first inning in electric fashion, courtesy of a 2-run home run from designated hitter Bryce Harper. Harper launched the first pitch he saw from Astros right-hander Lance McCullers Jr., an 85-mile-per-hour breaking ball into the right field stands, knocking in Kyle Schwarber, who had reached on a leadoff walk. According to StatCast data, the ball had an exit velocity of 103.9 miles per hour and traveled some 402 feet. The number 12 Rebels took down Texas A&M 31-28 at Kyle Field on Saturday. Ole Miss followed the formula from its 7-0 start back to success, riding 3 electric runners and some big plays, and getting enough good out of a defense that struggled at times, but proved it could make plays when it needed to most. The Aggies seized a 14-7 lead in the first quarter as freshman quarterback Connor Wingham proved incredibly efficient, and running back Devon Agnew couldn't be corralled. But Ole Miss defense responded with a back-to-back shutout quarters, letting the Rebels offense, led by running backs Quinshawn Judkis and Zach Evans, to pull back ahead with a 24-14 lead. Blake Corum and number 4 Michigan stayed undefeated, ending a 2-game losing streak to their in-state rival. Corum ran for 177 yards and scored twice. Jake Moody made 5 field goals, and the Wolverines beat Michigan State 29-7 on Saturday night. The undefeated Wolverines scored 26 straight points after falling behind briefly late in the first quarter. Michigan led 13-7 at halftime and kept control in the second half, outgaining Michigan State 133-8 in the third quarter. Moody, the reigning Lou Groza Award winner given to the nation's top-placed kicker, made a career-long 54-yarder for his 5th field goal to put the Wolverines ahead 22-7 early in the fourth. The Illini's 26-9 win over Nebraska on Saturday was nothing flashy, just workmanlike. Chase Brown and the top defense in the country did what they've been doing all year, and now number 17 Illinois is on a 6-game win streak for the first time since 2011. Brown rushed for 149 yards and scored on consecutive series in the second quarter to help the Big Ten West leading playoff contending Illinois beat the Cornhuskers for the third year in a row and secured their first winning regular season record since 2007. That's all I have for sports. Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford. I am Doug Beerthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford. And together,
We are Cleveland Ford.
Welcome back to Vox News. The fight is on this flu season as cases continue to increase. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has marked Tennessee in the red, meaning there's a high number of cases. State health leaders are encouraging anyone 6 months and older to get the flu shot. On November 2nd, you can get it for free at all local health departments. It's all part of the Tennessee Department of Health's Flight Flu 22 campaign. No appointment is needed for a shot, and if you can't make it, the shot will still be free after Wednesday. Find the nearest health department today.
Cirque Italia has arrived in Knoxville. The show is dubbed as, quote, one escapade you cannot afford to miss, end quote. Cirque Italia's Gold Unit performers taking viewers through a, quote, high-octane show, end quote, that is guaranteed to captivate and engage every person in the audience. The show features performers from Argentina, Brazil, Romania, and many other countries. Some of those performers, along with the ringmaster, joined the Good Morning Tennessee crew on Tuesday ahead of their busy show schedule this coming weekend in Knoxville.
The severe drought that has lowered the water levels along the Mississippi River has unearthed some hidden treasures. The latest find was an old casino riverboat in Memphis, Tennessee. The Diamond Lady first set sail in the early 1990s, then became a floating casino a few years later. But a bigger riverboat replaced her by the end of the decade. She sat empty and unused for years. And when severe storms hit last year, the Diamond Lady sank. Fast forward to October's drought, and the entire vessel is visible again.
It looks like Republican Senator Lindsey Graham will have to appear in front of an Atlanta grand jury investigating efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. The South Carolina senator had filed an emergency request asking the Supreme Court justices to halt the testimony while legal challenges play out. But yesterday, the Supreme Court declined Graham's request to block Georgia's grand jury subpoena. Graham's testimony is scheduled for November 17th. He will have room to object to certain questions as they come up, meaning the scope of his testimony or responses could be limited.
Tennessee is considering reducing requirements for some non-traditional candidates to earn their teacher's license. This was in response to worries over possible teacher shortages. However, this possible change has raised new concerns that this would harm teacher quality. In the first two votes on the proposal, the State of Board Education approved dropping the educative teacher performance assessment licensing test required of about 900, quote, job embedded, end quote, candidates that make up around a third of the state's teacher pipeline.
David Henderson, former chief of the Knox County Sheriff's Office's narcotics unit, is accused of using the agency's drug fund and county credit card as a personal piggy bank and on-duty subordinates as a private construction crew, and is currently no longer mentally capable of standing trial, according to his attorney. Attorney Robert Kurtz insisted that Henderson is showing signs of dementia and cannot meaningfully assist in the defense of federal charges filed against him earlier this year.
The United States Postal Service has reopened the Shallowford Road location on Tuesday, following a deadly shooting over the weekend. A press release from USPS says the location has resumed full operations as of November 1st. The facility was closed after police say 27-year-old Brian Simmons got into an argument on Sunday with his supervisor's 30-year-old Cody Ranson before shooting and killing Ranson. Police say Simmons left the post office and ended up crashing into a Hickson business where he was found dead.
The Bradley County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a man was found dead in an area church Monday afternoon. The BCSO says an employee of First Baptist Church on Stewart Road in Cleveland found the man in a car in the parking lot and he was unresponsive. The Sheriff's Office says the man was pronounced dead by EMS at the scene. It's unclear if foul play is believed to be a factor, but the Sheriff's Office says the investigation is ongoing. The man's name has not been released at this time.
A kid's creative and adaptable costume win Halloween, and images from space that give us the heebie-jeebies. Reporter Jeremy Roth has these stories in today's Take a Look at This.
The National Hockey League dubbed it the Costume of the Year, and frankly, we couldn't agree more. Easton Edding ruled the rink and the neighborhood with his very own Zamboni Halloween costume to go over his wheelchair. Easton was born with an extremely rare genetic condition that affects his legs and causes speech delays and a heart defect. Mom documented his dad making an ice resurfacer replica featuring his favorite team, the Edmonton Oilers, that's just as cool as ice. Even outer space seemed to be joining in the Halloween spirit this week. Take a look at this awesome image that the NASA observatory took of the sun. Those dark splotches are actually cooler areas on the surface. NASA says it looks like a smiling sun. Oh, isn't that nice? And Twitter users had a field day with what they thought. Some compared it to a jack-o'-lantern, while others said it looked more like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. All I can see is the incredible schnoz on that sun. Not to be overshadowed by the sun, you see what I did there? But check out this asteroid that scientists are calling a planet killer. Wait, what? How is this not the lead story? This is one of 3 near-Earth asteroids lurking within the sun's glare. Astronomers were able to capture an image of the giant space rocks using a dark energy camera in Chile during a brief moment of twilight. Luckily, the asteroid doesn't pose a threat to Earth, at least not for several more centuries, and by then we'll all be robots anyway. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
With the latest news from the big and small screens, here's reporter David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
One day you're playing kick the can with kids named Flick and Schwartz.
I triple dog dare you!
And the next thing you know, you're a certified adult.
Ralph, dear old man.
Fragile.
He was the best.
The first full trailer is out for the Yuletide sequel, A Christmas Story Christmas. A grown-up Ralphie discovers making Christmas magical for your family isn't as easy as his dad made it look. A Christmas Story Christmas premieres November 17th on HBO Max.
It was extremely challenging physically, vocally.
Lupita Nyong'o may not be very vocal for an upcoming role. Variety and Deadline report the Oscar winner is in final talks to star in A Quiet Place Day One, a spin-off of the popular franchise. The film is scheduled to hit theaters March 8th, 2024.
What is going on? You need to remember your place here. Stepmother, please. Giselle is under a curse. We have to stop this or everything Annalasian will die.
Suburbia's never looked so magical. Amy Adams' Giselle turns evil stepmother in the latest trailer for Disenchanted. The fairy tale sequel seeks its happily ever after November 18th on Disney+. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
You'll also find more online at our website, bchs.tv.
Please remind your friends to like, subscribe, and share on our YouTube channel, BCHS Bear Network.
To the E-Weekly for our newscast. Just can't get enough Hawks.
That is all we have for you today from Studio H12 in the Shroyer Broadcasting Center at Bradley Central High School.
From all of us with Vox News, thank you for watching.
We hope you have a splendid day.
And as always,
God bless and go Bears.